an audience on KTN, very good morning to you. And those who are tuned in on radio around the country, the region, and the world, this is the Situation Room on this 23rd of June, 2026. It's Dennis Eseto and Ndroko with you this morning as we get into conversations. Let me tell you what those will be as we get into things this morning. Well, our first conversation today starts a little bit earlier than things normally would because of the fact that, like I said, a number of things that we would like to talk about and see the direction in which they are going. So today we start at about 6:30 and we're going to do that conversation for 20 or so minutes with a DAPK party leader, Eugene Wamalwa. We're going to be talking about the opposition strategy, and we're also going to be talking about the Gen Z demos commemoration because they've said that they're going to be part of that memorializing that incident, or rather that moment in Kenya's history. So we'll talk with Eugene Wamalwa at 6:20 this morning. And then at 7 o'clock, we will have a conversation around broken pledges, accountability checks on promises made. Dan Manzo is the senator for Kenya representing Makueni County, and Bernard Kitur is the member of parliament for Nandi Hills. They will both join us at 7 o'clock, and we'll be looking into these promises. Why were they so difficult to achieve, or were they intended from the very beginning? So we'll talk about that with these two gentlemen at 7 o'clock. And we'll continue that conversation at 8 with former nominated Senator Gloria Orwoba, because we're going to be saying, okay, these promises that people hang on to, essentially the promises that you make to them are the reasons why they give you your vote. Their vote. So if you don't keep them, what have you said? Promises versus delivery. Regime of all talk is the question that we'll be asking today. We're going to round out our conversations today. Enter El Nino. Julius Courier is the Principal Secretary, State Department of Water and Sanitation. And what are the plans then to be able to do this? Because you'll have a deluge of rain, but we already see that in some parts it's starting to dry up, and people are going to be needing relief food in the moment. So in terms of water, too much of it. We're talking about dealing with El Nino, water conservation and reducing losses. What is the country actually looking to do to conserve this copious amounts of water that are going to come? It's not a matter of if.
It's when.
It's when. So those are conversations that we have for this morning. Thank you for joining us already as we get into it. Give me some news on that live stream, EVE. If it's there, let us know so that we can then, say hello to people in a short while. Okay, so our live stream is actually up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X this morning. Thank you for joining us. And you can say a quick hello to us, and we'll get to who we can before we start our conversations this morning. And before that, Dennis, we are in Kenya, literally, and otherwise.
How many cities do we have in Kenya?
Cities?
Yep.
I think we're on 4 now, no? 5.
Yeah, so we have Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, and Eldoret.
Eldoret is the city of champions.
It's city of champions. And you think about our tourism sector and what it does to the economy, and one says Kenya can do better. The government aims to have in the upwards of close to 5 million people, strategies that are being put in place. There is also the ongoing project. A lot can be talked about that at the airport project. With everything that is not clear, we can do better than that. But as well, just looking at expanding bed capacity, making it affordable for local Kenyans themselves to tour the country and be part of that local tourism to make the economy continue to grow. Our animal, again, we said, is the what? Is the lion. Is the lion. If you look at the coat of arms and all government institutions, even State House has a lion that has been frozen there, so lion is our spirit animal, one would say.
Ours is an eagle, but we're not talking about Kenya. Sorry.
Yeah, but so our proverb today comes from Rift Valley, and it's about a cow does not give birth to things that speak. A cow does not give birth to things that speak.
Who are these people who had this proverb?
This comes from the Kalenjin people.
A cow does not give birth to things that speak.
Yeah.
Hey, God in heaven. I think we're going to wait for Eugene Wamalwa. A cow gives birth to things that moo.
Yeah.
Right. So.
You're headed there. A cow will only give birth to a cow.
Bas. Yeah.
So
I know in my head, I have the words. To transport them to my mouth, it seems to be a challenge this morning. I can't. I know you know. See, you can see. You know.
I
getting.
see.
Yeah. I just can't get it out. Yeah.
So it's an apple doesn't fall from the tree.
Right. You plant maize, you get maize. You're not going to get carrots. Right.
So a child will most likely take after the parents.
Yeah.
So if you are an example to your child, one asks the question, what kind of example are you setting?
Indeed.
Regardless of how much you try to change, but in one way or the other, they'll pick something from the parent.
I guess what is imprinted is what will come out.
What will come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that proverb actually. Now that I've allowed my brain to, move properly.
Or to reset. Ding ding.
Just a little bit. Yes. So that's a good one. Very good morning to everybody. We can see that you're in. Let's say a quick hello to you because, we're moving things a little bit faster than we normally would today. Obviously, because we want to get in a conversation this morning before 7 o'clock, and we're going to do that. So good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. And we can across our social media platforms as well as just saying hello. I met a number of silent listeners who listen every day, and he said, see you tomorrow. And I said, yes, indeed. See you tomorrow. Because, it's great that we have silent listeners who just, keep listening to the conversation. It actually is a fantastic. Thank you for doing that every morning as you do. Yes. A very good morning to you, wherever it is that you're tuned in from. Thank you very much. And just seeing some of those comments already. Good morning, everybody. Says, your name is iPhone Guru. Okay, fantastic. Robert Tomogo is tuning from Mombasa. Very good morning to you. Peter Kiaria says, we stress too much over a life that can end at any time. Don't forget to breathe, laugh, love, make sure to live. I love that. Absolutely. Stop and smell the flowers. Kind of thing. Georgia Demo says, good morning, Spice family. Rongo listening, very dry and cool. Jimmy Munothi says, good morning, Spice family. Can't understand what is happening at ODM. They just liberated Sifuna. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on in the hen house, but okay. Yeah, well, they're going to have to figure it out in this case. You're going to bembeleza the thing down. That just figure it out. Deal with your issues, guys. Yeah. And then, Oga Rudy Soko kind of thing. Do whatever you need to do to get it done. Bernard Ogamba says, good morning, spicing up my day from Nairobi. Education reforms to scrap off boarding schools. The only remedy to challenges currently in our education. You don't expect that from quacks at policy level. Well, interesting to know that 7,000 secondary school heads are in Mombasa this week to try and figure out what's going on. Kesha, or everybody, interested stakeholders, parties there in Mombasa. Figure it out. But the primary stakeholders in this, interestingly enough, will not be at the meeting. So I don't know how you're going to bring that in. Might want to have a conversation with them too, seeing as they're the ones who are coming back into school. Now that schools are closed for the midterm, guess what? The students they are the reason why there's no one in school. Am I saying something? True. Okay. It just seems that you need to have a different approach to sorting out some of these things. But it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this Mombasa meeting. Kelvin Gitagia says, lately everything these leaders say seem to be rage-baiting campaign. Right? Clement Otola says, good morning from Malindi Kwachocha. Under difficult situation, Chameleon is forced to change its waking up style with Ogig proverb. Is it? Leo says, good morning, Princess Njuana Seto. It's 2 days since an MP said everyone protesting should be shot. I don't know if he was thinking about shooting. Maybe another form of sending you back to your maker, maybe with another instrument and not necessarily a gun. That was very clear from what he did. But they're all over chasing another MP for saying external electoral manipulation won't be accepted. Right? It's the irony of our times.
True.
Drift Session says, good morning, good night. I said before, system your majambas. Asada Mark says, good morning, Spice. Tuned in from Busia. You guys are amazing. Thank you. We humbly take that. God bless you. Ambieni Martha Karua nitampelekea jogo. She's not just bold, she's made of steel. Nihaya tukwa leo. She was kicked out of Uganda, detained for a minute before she was, and then told, you can't come in. Kiza Besije is the person that she's representing. She had express authority to operate as a lawyer or to offer legal services in Uganda. She was the only one. And then suddenly, get out.
Persona non grata.
This is coming in 3 weeks after Kiza Besije put his hands up and said, you guys, you know what? Do what you want to do. I'm done. He did. He said, just
do what you want.
Do what you want.
Speaks about Pan-Africanism, rule of law, democracy, and justice.
It's in a poor state, unfortunately, and so is our justice system, apparently, if you're looking across East Africa. Samuel Bisimwa says, good morning, my favorite Sunni from Kuala Lumpur. Good morning to you. Thank you very much. Jennifer Cheney says, good morning, my beautiful duo and fellow Spice family. Yes. You know, I suffer withdrawal syndrome when I miss this show. Now you know. This is the kind of drugs we like.
Yeah. Keep taking it.
Kabisa. In fact, overdose.
Yeah.
Daniel Shuru says, good morning, dear friends. Guys, I'm just tired of the way things are run down in this country on purpose. And some of us who genuinely care trying to point things out, and we get gaslit and called unpatriotic. Erica Warren says, good morning, guys. Good morning to you. Dr. Venvik is also tuned in from Nyali. It's not a county, my friend. David says, good morning, my people listening from Kitisuru. And Otto says, good morning as well. Leo, the amount of impunity in this chamber is La Wanyama will drive the motherland into anarchy. The amount of warning for 24th is an alarm for state violence planned. Protest, lakini. Eric Nganga says, good morning. The High Court has temporarily blocked the implementation of the National Infrastructure Funds. Yes, it would be interesting to see if people actually follow.
True.
Kimmy Yak, good morning. Have you heard them with the threats to the Gen Z and other protesters? All of them, even after the president's fake apology. Y'all must understand. Now today he's taking it a notch higher. Must understand. Nothing good will come out of the Kenya Kwanzaa regime. What? Kimmy Yak, good morning. Yeah, I seemed a little bit ticked this morning. Henry Acceptor says, good morning, SpiceFM. When you see this and know that this is what we prophesied about. Mbele Kosawa. All right. Dr. Veme says, Mombasa, hakuna salamu ukisalimiana njugu zapotea. Okay. Mark Mwangi says, good morning, Spice family. It's no longer 6 months, it's tomorrow. Now today, 1.7 billion shillings for coffee farmers in Metoka. Coffee farmers are going to be paid some money, some good money.
Yeah.
Question is, imetoka wapi yo pesa? Bonuses? Who's selling coffee? To whom? Before we have a conversation this morning with Eugene Wamalwa, let's have a quick look into the papers. I want to go to the headline, and then I want to go to the international pages.
Cool.
Cry for justice is what is on the front page of the Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. A faceless, digitally organized generation sparked a civic movement and peaked on June 25th, 2024, when protesters breached parliament during the anti-tax Gen Z uprising. The protests reshaped the political landscape and ushered in a new wave of youth-led activism. But they also turned violent amid widespread allegations of police brutality. 2 years on, the calls for systemic change have not faded. Youth groups, human rights organizations, the clergy and opposition leaders are still demanding justice and accountability from President William Ruto's administration. So, of course, looking into the Gen Z protests that happened 2 years ago, and 2 years into that, I guess that's a fundamental question here. Yeah. Behind all the political rhetoric and all the nuance, the things that were being asked for were valid because the president actually noticed that. Have they changed in any way? And I think that's what we ought to be looking at. Have any of those things actually changed? Is it any different?
You want an answer?
Yes.
I can miss you.
Wani?
I see you.
Okay.
I can't.
I'm going to skip from the headline to page 32 of the Standard. Last week, we talked about the fact that the Prime Minister of the UK was behind this push to say that social media not allowable for children 16 and below. Along those lines. Guess what? Keir Starmer is leaving his position as the UK Prime Minister. And so I said to myself, you know what, yesterday when I was looking through this information, I said, you know what, let me just look. In the last 10 years, from 2010 to 2016, David Cameron was the Prime Minister of the UK. From 2016 to 2019, Theresa May was the Prime Minister of the UK. From 2019 to 2022, Boris Johnson was the Prime Minister of the UK.
The cycling Prime Minister.
Yes. In 2022, for just 49 days, Liz Truss was the Prime Minister of the UK. From 2022 to 2024, Rishi Sunak was the Prime Minister of the UK.
The man with Kenyan roots?
Yes. And Keir Starmer, from 2024 until now 2026, was the Prime Minister of the UK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Prime Ministers in 13 to 16 years. that the UK has had. It's interesting because you know what? The question as per what went wrong as the UK seeks a new Prime Minister. Listen to this. From the start of his premiership in July 2024, Keir Starmer began to pile up, hit by a series of scandals. Imagine a scandal is causing a man to step down, missteps and policy U-turns.
Policy
U-turn.
Okay.
Alisema atafanya hivi, akageuka akafanya hivi, alafu akasema wacha niwache hii kazi. Let me continue. Starmer's first 100 days were seen as a clumsy foray into the art of governing. First come a row from Labour ministers, including Starmer, accepting gifts. Accepting gifts. Clothing. Tickets and a sweater. And free accommodation. Do you understand what I'm saying to you this morning? The people of the London town said, no, please.
Are you mad?
Are you crazy? Yeah. What are you accepting gifts for?
And tickets as well.
Don't we pay your salary? Even though the donations were within Parliament rules, Starmer announced he would return around £6,000 worth, but only after the scandal had been allowed to grow for several weeks. Yani alingoja kidogo, hoping it would go away. Then he saw, several weeks, not months, not years. Wait. Okay. Can you stop applying standards for?
I'm using what I'm used to here. So this one is a shocker.
Wait. Let me just finish the story real quick. The government completely misjudged public anger over removing the winter fuel allowance, granting 10 million elderly, and had to backtrack under pressure from Labour's left-wing UK businesses, were then angered when Finance Minister Rachel Reeves announced major tax hikes in her first budget, seeking to raise an additional 40 billion. That's their finance bill.
Yeah.
Wakasema, you and the whole kit and caboodle, get out.
Then you've removed funds that go to the elderly.
They said, we're not going to have this.
No.
I'm just saying that's what happened in your colonizer's backyard.
Yes. Colonizer. The one who left us with what we now call modern democracy.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing. Between how many prime ministers were those?
6 in 16 years.
16 years.
And this guy is on his way out. They're looking for a new one because alichukua nguo na tikiti ya hoteli na aeroplane.
Please remember, he said, I can't do it. He chose to step down, resign, go. Let somebody else who can do better and do. Aki Kenya, we can do better. I'm not asking, but resignation is a reality. It happens.
Hizo story mbili ndio tunaangalia leo sababu Eugene Wamalwa ako in the house. We'll talk in a little bit and look at what's happening with weather, traffic, and then we'll come back and talk with Eugene in the hot seat. 6:30. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.